got some people showing up. I got a couple. Yeah. Good news is it shouldn't be that long of a show. It should be in an hour for sure. Are you signed on as Diakonos?
Yes. It's just taking time. It's always delayed.
Welcome Susan, welcome Deb, welcome Maureen, Pat. It's like a reunion. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight with some fun new bracelets. We are coming to you live from historic downtown Stoughton. It's the Ed and Becky Show. My name is Ed. Say hi, Becky.
Hi, Becky.
Becky says hi, and we've got a couple new fun projects and some deals. And if this is your, if you've done this before, you know the drill. But if this is your first time, we always usually give you free shipping over $50. And on unless it's a super sale show, we often like to give you the ability to earn extra discounts. $100, you get 10%, $250, you get 20%. If you're in any of our designer or club programs, you can get the better of this discount or yours, but not both. We're not Kohl's. Anyway, and we've got some special deals tonight, and I'll repeat that several times during the night. We're going to offer, the kits are really priced to sell, but we're going to give you $3 off every kit that's ordered during the show and on replay email orders through midnight tomorrow. You'll get $3 off every kit and still get these discounts. So it's going to be it's going to just be crazy. And again, if you've shopped with us before, we know how to send you an invoice at the end of the night. But if this is your first time, please just, before you leave the show, send us an email at becky@diakonosdesigns.com. That email you send us is one that we can send back to you with a secure click and pay invoice from Square. And that's how you get that. You click on it, you pay it. And just like that, then we ship it to you. It's just that easy. So without further ado, we're going to get started. You're going to love this project. If you need a confidence builder project, if you need a fast project, you're going to love this project. And we've got a couple of them, and they're working with these Nonagons. And again, we got these in right before Christmas. We're still the only one in the U.S. that has these on their website. The main U.S. supplier has yet to even get him on his website, but we are well acquainted and get good rates. And we've done a lot with these. We've created a lot of unique, fun designs. And they're great for making simple bracelets. They're about 7mm by 7mm. They have 9 faceted sides. So a 9-sided object is a Nonagon. So we're mainly working with Nonagons, and we're going to show you a couple ideas. A triple wrap bracelet, and we're calling it a triple because it's 3-stranded and 3 wraps around your wrist. This is what that will look like. In fact, even guys can wear them. I've got mine on. So kind of fun. And then we're going to show some new colorways of our Nonagon pairs. But what other fun things can you do with Nonagons? Well, I just realized I have one of my samples still in my pocket, but we got a couple ideas of other things you can do with Nonagons. If those of you that makes the stretchy bracelets, you know, stretchy. You always are looking for a stuff bead, and you're saying, Ed, what is a stuff bead? Well, let me tell you. A stuff bead is something that hides the knot. So here's an example. I picked the fattest, most bulky cord to work with, 1mm Stretch Magic, and you can see it's hiding. I created just a big ugly knot to show just how big. Usually your knots are never that big, but you always are looking for, obviously these would be all your pretty beads all along here, but then you as you tie your knot, you give yourself a little room between some beads, tie your knot, and then you stuff the knot inside that bead, and then people think, wow, you're the most coolest stretch bracelet maker in the world. So you can use it for that. You can use them on, these are, with a 3mm hole, you can do just like a million things. And we do a lot of stuff with 3mm bolo. And this is just to show you like an example of, these fit on 3mm bolo. So this could be like a really cool guys or girls necklace. I'm just doing this as a little necklace sample here. And these could be like little accent beads around a focal, or you could actually periodically disperse some of these throughout the design. So lots of fun things that can be done with Nonagons, and I'm sure you guys will come up with some as well. But we found these gorgeous Java beads made on the island of Java, handmade in a furnace on mandrels, and they're just, the closer you look at them, the more you see, intricacy and detail. And there's about 120 beads like this to a strand. And we actually give you an entire strand for this project. You probably only need somewhere between 70 and 90. But we decided to give you the whole strand. It was just, fussy to pick them apart.
Can you hold them up close to just as close as you can get? Because I'd love for people to see just the intricacies.
That's what I was doing. Yeah, but I'll do it again. Yeah, there's just like mini stripes, and there's almost like no two beads alike.
They're just really lovely beads. I mean, these aren't...
They're handmade. Like I said, these would be retail at about $18 a strand for 120 of these. And these kits that we're going to show have a full strand. So I found about 10% of these are malformed. In other words, by that I mean they don't have a perfect 1mm hole to do stringing on. You could still do other things with them, like wire wrap them or put them on thinner cord or do some fun things with them. But so because, there was a, and I just pre-checked 30 beads for this show, and 3 were a little thin. So that's kind of, holds with the 10%. So, but bottom line, you're going to have, like everything I have here is left over from my from this project. So, so I have some to tutorial you with. So we're going to show the triple, the Nonagon triple, and this is a triple wrap bracelet. Again, anytime you're doing a triple wrap bracelet, it can also double as a necklace. It would make a very lovely necklace, very earthy, very bohemian. Obviously, the layered look has been in, and this is a very blues and brown, blues and earthy browns. Will go just about with anything. Can be dressy, can be with jeans. So in the kit you're going to get a 2.5 foot piece of leather and a 5 foot piece of leather. Obviously you can't see how long they are on the screen, but we're going to take our 5. All the work and all the trick in getting this first project done is in getting it started. And you take your 5 foot piece of leather. 5 foot piece of leather, fold it in half. That's the easiest way to thread on your leather and find, the center point. So now we have 2.5 feet on each side, 2.5 feet on each side. And there's a third piece of leather that we're going to introduce in a minute that is also 2.5 feet. because this is going to be a 3-stranded bracelet. That's how it gets its name, triple triple. So again, we're just making a very simple overhand knot. And again, anytime you want to do an overhand knot, it wants to go that way, but you want it to go this way. So the trick is always to keep the loop big and just gently nudge it back towards the button, nudge it back towards the button, nudge it back towards the button. Now, normally you would just quickly close this, but we need to get that 3rd strand in there, and there's something called the tornado. I don't have a picture of it in the instructions, but there will be a link to the, our websites always have the link to these tutorials, but this is what I call the tornado. And we want to put that 3rd strand inside the tornado. And so I usually come up through the tornado and tie a simple knot. Again, this is just a simple single strand overhand knot. Don't worry about getting it right to the edge there. But you just want something so that it doesn't go through. Now we can close our tornado. We can scooch that all the way up there. And then if there's any slack in this 3rd strand, we can pull it down. But look at that. You have just created a 3-strand bracelet. This is handy for any type of 3-strand bracelet, and the most common is a macrame or a double square knot design, where you're preloading your beads on the center strand, and then you're using the outer strands to make those square knots and creating a beautiful square knot bracelet. But basically, all we're going to do is go back to the business ends, and I'm sorry, I got off camera here. And these usually have a good point on them before they're put in the kit, but if for any reason they don't worry. You can just make a nice little cut. And it's as simple as bead, 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 Nonagon. That's going to be the pattern. Bead, 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 Nonagon. Can anyone say it out there? I can hear you guys shouting, bead, 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 Nonagon. Wash, rinse, repeat. So I usually like to do them 3 at a time like this. And then before I let this go, I put a Nonagon over 3. And you see it fits nicely. And then we're just going to thread these all the way down. And again, as you get nearer to the end of the bracelet, you don't have to thread as far. But you'll see they almost always, no matter how you put them, they will kind of do this, where they won't really like all bunch up. They'll all kind of fall into place. And you can be the decider of how loose or how tight you want your pattern. I've done all my sizing matrix calculations based on if someone were to really pack these in, do we still have enough beads and Nonagons for a large wrist? And we can do up to 26 inches, which is practically a 9-inch wrist. An 8, something that measures probably 8 1/4, maybe even 8 1/2. You could still make a bracelet to make that happen. That is, just to put that in perspective, that's almost 1 inch bigger than my wrist. Oops, I just dropped one of my strands. We've been running around like chickens today. We're packing up for a big show. We're packing up to stock up our Door County jewelry wholesaler, Hydeside Corner Store in Fish Creek is going to get stocked up with our jewelry. And again, you can see it is coming together. Pretty lovely. All we got to do is do that somewhere between 22 and 30 times. Again, probably the average wrist is only going to need about 22 of these packets. A good rule of thumb, I didn't write this in the instructions, but at the end of the day, just test it on your wrist. But if you have a 6 1/2 inch wrist, let's just use that as an example. You take that and multiply it by 3 and add an inch. So that's 19.5, that's 20.5. 20.5 is where you make the first. At 20.5 inches, you'd make the first of your 2 knots to make your button closure. Because then the other knot would be at about 21.5, and about 21.5-ish is perfect for a 6.5 inch wrist on a triple wrap, especially with a little bit of beef in the beads. So your wrist circumference times 3 plus 1 equals the first knot, plus 2 equals the second knot, as a sizing guideline. So again, a standard wrist may only need about 22 packets, and I would call this one packet of beads, and you may only need about 22 of them, but we give you enough for 30. So rather than you all watching me do 24 more of these, I'm going to pretend this is the end of the bracelet. And what the instructions tell you to do is take all 3 strands, and once you've determined, and again, you're double confirming always, always, always by your wrist. That's the best way to do it. You're double confirming with your wrist. And again, you could end on a bead or a nonagon. You could end on beads or nonagons. There's no right or wrong answer there. I think in the instructions I say, you know, you might be better off ending on beads, but it's I've done both, and it really is fine with either one. So one option for making your button loop, again, you just want the button to be big enough to fit through, and this is about a 3/4 inch button. So you would make your next knot about 3/4 inch down the train track. So one theory is just use all 3 strands. There's no harm in saying, you know, you can just put your button in then any of those 2 strands. That's what I did. So, you know, maybe a man doesn't want dangles. So I didn't want dangles on mine. So that's exactly what I did. And you can see all 3 strands there. And then there's no dangles on the dangle strand. There's no dangles beyond the knot. And that's one option. Another option, again, if you don't want dangles, but still want just 2 for the button, is to just make another knot here and terminate, you know, make another knot on the 3rd strand right up against this knot, and then cut it off. And then you can just make your button loop with 2. But what we show in our instructions is we peel off one of these strands, and it becomes the dangle strand. And really, all 3 of these can become dangle strands. So you can see I peeled off one of the, after I made that first knot with all 3 strands, I peeled off one of them and put some dangles on that, and then tied a little knot at the end and cut it off. Now I went back and then I made this knot with just the two strands. And again, before I went any further, I just tried it on my wrist, made sure it was going to fit, and then I added some extra beads for dangles. So I'm all dangled up here, and again, yeah. And so those are the 2 ways to finish your bracelet. It's super easy. You know, just to show that real quick, we'll do the. And again, you'll also notice you get to be the decider. These beads are different sizes and shapes, and if you want to lay out a pattern of them and have some of the fatter ones be in the center, some of the smaller ones be in the you know, near the near the ends. So that's our dangle strand, and I'm not gonna cut it right now, but then I'm gonna make my, should probably always be on camera here. Then I'm gonna make my, just again, an overhand knot with the remaining 2 strands, and I'm just going to make it about 3/4 of an inch there, because that's the size of the button. And again, when in doubt, you know, you would check it and test it. Yep, we got plenty of room there. So some buttons are bigger than the others. And welcome Sandy and Vicky and Carla, all kinds of, and Julie from Colorado. Welcome, welcome. All right, and then we would just put some, again, we could, you know, optionally put some dangles on here. Here's another idea. Sometimes people will, if they've got a lot of leftover leather, they may make a second button loop and even a third button loop, and that gives you adjustable sizes. Maybe your wrists swell, you know, throughout the week, month, or year, depending on activity or any other, you know, things. I know that when I do a lot of hand work, my fingers swell immensely. But your wrist size can change up to 1/4 of an inch depending on diet and heat and all kinds of conditions. So sometimes people keep a spare one on here, and then they, you know, if your wrist is feeling thin, you button it here. If it's feeling a little thicker, or if you want to wear it a little bit longer as a necklace, maybe you put it in here. But anyway, so it's super easy to finish. You have noticed I have used no tools whatsoever. This is just a simple cutters, but this could also be a scissors that you, or even a nail trimmer that's in your purse. It doesn't need to be anything too fancy. So lot number one is going to be, we've got 3 colorways of this that we had in the photo. Lot number one is the blue on silver triple wrap, and again you can see massive amount of beads. You know, we've got our largest clamshell and they can barely fit in there. And again, I didn't, because this video is going to be on a replay, I wanted all the numbers to be the right numbers, 28. But again, you will be paying 25 tonight and through midnight Friday if you place, if you say I want some, or if you are wanting, if you want some during the show, you just say sold lot number one. It's just that easy. If you are watching the replay, as long as you have sent us a email by midnight Friday, you can get the $3 off. So again, Bradley Ann's going to get this for $25, and you know, and again, if she buys like a rock star, which Bradley often does, you get 20% off. Now all of a sudden it's $20, $20, and you got $18 worth of Java beads, and you'll probably never be able to fly to Java because it's far, far away. It is in the Indonesian peninsula, per Mr. Ramsey, who was just in Indonesia.
Bring the new beads back?
They're shipping, and lot number two is we have 14 of these. It's the black on black. $28 for you tonight, $25. Oh, here, this is what it looks like on. And again, I had a couple different blacks. Some of them had a lot of, you know, weird red colorations in them and some odd things going on. And this one just seemed to be a real solid, neutral, you know, kind of a old world black and white sepia, you know, that really, again, it could be worn by a guy, could be worn by a girl, could be worn with a little black dress, could be worn as a necklace. So this is lot number two. These would be great, fun gift ideas for young women that you, especially have a young niece or even a granddaughter, and they want to build their confidence doing a beading project. And you know, anytime you don't have any tools, and it's just stringing. It's very easy to do. So lot number 3 is well, I call it mint on gold. It's a leather cord flavor I've never even heard of. It's called Oasis Turquoise, and it's just so yummy, the leather, and it's just so lovely. I just thought this looked, when I saw this strand, I thought right away, this is going to go good with gold. And we just launched gold. In fact, I got to remember if I even put gold on the website, because gold is the gold Nonagons are brand new. So they're so these 3 kits are all world premiering, and as is the gold Nonagons, I guess. So lot number 3. So lot number 4 is we've got 5. Before we get to lot number 4, we're going to show you a demo of what we call Nonagon pairs. So we launched a product called Nonagon pairs at Tucson, but we weren't sure if it was going to be a hit. And so we picked some beads that we had around the studio that we wanted to use up, number 1, but were still lovely, number 2. And and we knew that we probably wouldn't be able to reorder. So these became a limited release, and there is still a few. We're going to get to those after the new Nonagons. We're going to have 4 lots of the original Nonagons, but I'll show you how those go together. So they're our tagline with them is you get 2 bracelets for $24. Wear one, share one. So you can wear one, and then you can share one. You can, if you have a BFF, you are BFF. Yeah. So anyway, these are much shorter piece of leather. There's just 1 30-inch piece of 1.5 millimeter leather. You fold it in half just like we did before. You thread your button through. Most all of these are shanks, but if it is a 2-hole button, it's still better to do this and put the 2 holes through up here. And again, we haven't gotten a lot for yet, but I see some orders because it's kind of off in the corner here. But anyway, this is showing. I have some beads left over, just a handful of beads left over from one of the original Nonagons. But anyway, it's a much shorter piece of leather. It is 1.5 mil. It's only bead Nonagon. If you can remember, and I think Becky can remember this, that triple was bead Nonagon, bead Nonagon. What's this one, Becky?
I don't know. I wasn't listening, so I'm trying to keep up with what's going on.
Oh, sorry. So anyway, it's bead Nonagon. It's just 2 beads, and again, kind of the same concept. You just grab a couple beads. A lot of these use bead medleys on the Nonagon pairs. And as we always say, who's the master of the medley? You are. So you get to control the medley. And usually there's about 5 or 6 colors in each of these medleys, but same thing, bead Nonagon. I mean, literally, you can make these bracelets in 15 or 20 minutes. So bead Nonagon, just that easy.
So I was paying attention to the screen, but so this is the same pattern as the first one that you did, right?
It's different, same but different. That was 3 strands, a bead on each strand. This is 2 strands, but still similar in that it's a bead on each strand. Okay. And it's fatter leather, and you don't have to do the tornado, and you just tie an overhand knot. And look at that, I've already done 2 packets. and it's just that easy. I find we give you enough for 12 packets per bracelet, so we give you 24 packets. We give you 24 Nonagons, we give you 60 beads, so you got a ton of beads. Again, you can dangle up quite a bit. So I was making production bracelets, and I was only using 9 or 10 of these. So you have 12. And again, when you go to, this is just like almost every bracelet we've ever done. You just tie an overhand knot, you go 1 inch down the train track, tie another overhand knot, put some dangles on at the end if you desire. And just like that, you've got yourself a bracelet. So, all that said, again, couldn't be more simple projects for you tonight. I'm just going to quickly get my work out of the way onto a waiting tray. So so these are all brand new Nonagon pairs. With the new Nonagon pairs, again, we used all medleys. And then the other thing we did is we made sure that the leather was the same. On the first set of Nonagons, we actually used 2 different leathers, but we realized, it's just easier, and then you really truly get 2 identical bracelets if the leather's the same. So this electric blue is it's a mostly blue medley, but it's got just a hint of yellow. It's got 2 different hints of green in there, and some and some aquas. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. And again, you can see it's got a very unique button. We're actually going to feature these buttons in a little bit. You're actually going to have the ability to buy a super value pack of buttons later on in the show. And we have super value packs, what I call designer packs of the Nonagons, and then you can buy full Nonagon strands as well. And then
you have the colored beads at all? Somebody asked about that.
Colored beads.
These kits have beads that are Nonagons.
Yeah.
And then they have the
beads in them. Yeah, I guess the beads. They could buy separately. I haven't thought about that.
Okay. Oh, you don't have them. I didn't know if maybe I only had 1 page. I only have 20 lots. I didn't know if there was a second page.
There isn't a second page. We're not selling the beads. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, we could. I have to figure out what that would cost. Anyway, so you can see you get 2 buttons. You get 2 pieces of leather, you get 60 beads and 24 Nonagons for $24. But again, you guys can probably already tell me that for you tonight, these are $21. Again, you're getting $3 off, and you're getting all these discounts. So, again, this is lot number 4, electric blue. Welcome, Tina. And electric blue, I think, boy, I've got a bunch of favorites on these new designs, but I think electric blue is probably one of the coolest, especially with that button. So anyway, plenty of those available. Lot number 5 is something we call wheatberry, and it's done with copper. And this is what wheatberry looks like. Ooh. We have a chevron called Wine Lovers, and this almost looks exactly like Wine Lovers. It's good tones for I think of like a Napa Valley and drinking wine, and is a lovely version of this. So yeah, and again, you're getting two bracelets for $21. 2 bracelets for $21, about just a little over $10 a bracelet. And you'll have enough leftover supplies to do all kinds of fun stuff I've done the math. If you have a reasonably sized ankle, you could literally make 2 anklets with this. If there's extra, and right now there's extra kits. I think I made way too many on the Nonagon triple triples. I thought people would just munch up that Java glass, but yeah, we'll put in fact, I'll turn the websites on. I'll turn the websites on for these probably by no later than 8 o'clock tonight. So, what lot numbers? What do you mean, what lot numbers? So we're on lot number 5 right now. So again, if you've just joined us, the triple triples were lots 1, 2, and 3, and those will be on the web. And these are lots 4 through 8 of the new Nonagons, and those will be on the web. The photos are actually already on the web, and they just show a 0 in the 0 available. So lot number 6 is evergreen, and this is paired with brass. Each of these is paired with a different metal. And this is, oh my gosh, so bright, so springy, so summery. It is, I've been eating a lot of salad lately, and boy, I could almost just eat that as a little side salad there. It's so lovely. Wine. I was saying wheatberry looks like Wine Lovers. Wine Lovers is one of our Chevron. Wine Lovers is one of our Chevron kits. So, lot number 6 again is evergreen. Again, $21 for 2 bracelets. Again, if you're listening to this after midnight on Friday, May 3rd, 24 is the price, and they are on the website for 24. Again, we always do have some coupons and fun things like that. Here we go. Looks like Becky's doing a good job on the feed, explaining things. So lot number 7 is the little black dress version, and I call this Italian marble. For a number of reasons. I did some Googling on this, or of course in the Midwest we say Italian, but Italian marble, and it's mostly blacks, whites, frosts, frosty whites, and then shiny blacks and matte blacks, and goes good with the little black dress. Someone I think in Tucson had said, you can always layer up, so there's nothing wrong with making both of these for yourself and just wearing it as again, creating like a layered look, as you wear it, it would look kind of like that. We got these fun buttons that are part of the, I thought this looked kind of Italian marbly, that's why I picked that button to go with this one. And this is lot number 7. I see a couple folks are chomping at it. Welcome, Mary Sue. So, and then finally, this last one is an explosion of color, but there's actually 10 different beads in the medley, which is kind of hard to believe. So you could create a lot of different looks. Right. Well, the only thing is the leather's cut into 2 30-inch pieces, or you could make a wrap bracelet, but you could always, grab some leather from your own stash. So this one is called Sunflower, and this is what they look like. Look at that. I thought Sunflower was the perfect name because they look like a field of sunflowers getting hit by the sun in different directions. And for those of you that want your pinks and your mauves and your maroons, you got some of that in there, but you got a little bit of everything in here. It can be very fallish. And when I, when we were showing these to our staff, their first thought was, that's got a little bit unusual. Then they're like, wow, the more I look at that, the more it grows on me. So, and I thought it would pair really good with gold. The leather on here looks brownish, but it's actually natural violet, which is, so the closer you look at it, you'll see the wine-like purple in there. And I thought that just really set off a bunch of the different beads very well. So that's lot number 8, not sunflower. All right, so now we've got 4 lots of the originals. Again, some of the originals sold out, and we're down to just when these are gone, these are gone. So lot number 9 is called Silver Blue Medley. We didn't have as fun of names on the first time around, because we literally made these probably, we were packing these probably in the car on the way down to Tucson. So anyway, there's still 9 of these left, believe it or not. And these are really much more bluey, where my electric blue had a little bit of everything in it. These pretty much stick to the solid blue. And if someone wants to add a chevron, Chevron, wine lovers, they certainly can. We'll add that to your cart, my dear. Alrighty, so lot number 9. This was probably, again, my favorite of the original. I think 5. Actually, we had 6 different Nonagons, going back to some that we did for a local event. So we do have 9 of these left. Some of those are going to, if anyone's on the feed, going up to the Loose Bead Society retreat up in Amherst, Wisconsin this weekend. We will have a couple of these for sale there, assuming they don't sell out tonight, which I don't know if they will. I don't think they will. Lot number 10, and as Becky had noted earlier, we only have, where'd those go? There they are. We only have 20 lots tonight, so we'll get you out of here on time. So this is Copper Picasso. There's actually 10 of these available. And again, we did have this has a, I think a natural light brown and a natural, that's either natural turquoise or natural dark green. So there's actually 2 leathers there, but this was a really good seller in Tucson. And again, there's just 10 left on the planet. We can't get these beads anymore. And super lovely. So that's lot number 10, Copper Picasso. Thank you, Miss Deb. Lot number 11 is also was a good seller down in Tucson. It's something called, maybe because it's very kind of southwesty, but it's called blue turquoise, silver blue turquoise. And we've got one, these, what do we have on these for leather? My eyes are shot. Oh, we have kind of a natural gray, and then we have a Pacific. Natural gray and Pacific are the leathers on this. But if I can get the focus closely on these beads, these are handmade kind of Picasso beads, size 2 check beads. Maybe check is a better word than Picasso. And I think it's the only one we had that had size 2 beads. And so again, a little bit, more unusual in that it splays out left and right a little bit more. But again, a very southwesty button to go with it. So that's lot number 11. And finally, lot number 12 is the last of the original Nonagons. There is only 4 of these left. So keep an eye on the counter in case anybody gets excited about these. This is what they look like. We again use that same Italian marble button, but these are I think a size 4 bead, and these are a very intricate striped Picasso-y checky bead. I don't know if we can, and one's on black and one's on dark brown with this kit. So you got 2 different choices of leather there. So this is probably the smallest bead of any of the 12 choices we had. Again, just $21. Just to remind people, the kits are $3 off through midnight tomorrow. $3 off through midnight tomorrow, so you're paying just $21 for 2 kits. Alrighty, just one left on the lot number 12. We might have a sold out lot. Lot number 13 is another new concept. Let's just have a single. So we have 6 of these. This is similar to Sunflower, but it's not. It's called Sunflower Remix, and it's got some similarities. It's made with gold. It's got a different button, and it's got different leather. This is a much more maroonish leather. I should remember the name of it.
Is that the Moroccan?
Moroccan, yeah.
And that's not maroon.
All right,
it's
so
an orange red that's super popular.
all right, so it's Moroccan something is the leather, and these are 14, but again, $3 off. So these are $11. $11, and there's only 6 of these on the planet. And the reason I made up singles on these is we had just a small amount of this bead mix. It's slightly different. There's only 6 or 7 colors in this mix, where there's 10 in Sunflower. And again, so it's a slightly different mix, slightly different leather, different button. And again, only 6 of these on the planet. And they're a single. So again, great stocking stuffer or grad gift. Maybe someone's graduating 8th grade, and they want to give them just a little fun project that they can whip up in about 20 minutes. So you've been seeing these buttons throughout the night, and lot number 14 we got 7 $1.50 buttons, $10.50 value for $6. And I'm going to lay these out. The majority of them are shank buttons, but one of them, you got that beautiful square button in there, but one of them is a 2-hole button. Can be kind of a manly button. So again, we do have 20 lots of this. These will go on the website if they don't sell out. These probably won't go on the website till next week. And then you got a variety of sizes, tiny to large. But so sometimes you think, oh, it's good to have are you saying, I think Deb might be saying you want 3, lot 14 times 3. You can certainly do that because we got a whole bunch of them. But it's good to have some buttons handy, and then at 85 cents a button, you can't go wrong. And if you're going to get 20% off tonight, now this becomes $4.80. You're getting 7 buttons for $4.80. So yeah, okay. So Deb has clarified. Marine's jumping in. So yeah, so we had been on a hunt for some new fun buttons with TierraCast, with the TierraCast news of 2023. I hope they come back in 2024. But so this is just a good medley of new fun buttons. That's, Suzanne is correct. That's a screaming deal. Screaming deal. Ed likes to give away deals, and Becky's like, can we afford to give these away at $4.80 if they're getting 20% off? And it's like, sure, why not? Life is short. We've been blessed. So anyway, so that's lot 14. And so lots 16 through 20, I'm just going to show you that, are going to be the full strands. Lots 16 through 20 are going to be the full strands. But there's 88 to 91 beads on a strand, 88 to 91 beads on a strand. And your first thought is, do I really need that many? And wouldn't it be cool if you had just 30? Because 30 is enough to do 3 individual bracelets. 30 is enough to do 3 individual bracelets. And it's also what we put in our triple wrap kit. So we put 30 in the triple wrap kit. So we created this designer pack. Oops, in fact, I should probably find the card. There it is. So we created this designer pack, and we thought, people may not want to invest in the full strands, but if you do, that's great. But here's a way to really dip your toe into the Nonagons. You get 30 of each, which is a third of a strand. And these are $18 a strand, so a third of a strand would be $6. 6 times 5 is $30. So yeah, so it's a way to get all 5 finishes. And the best part isn't even over. I'm going to give you $2 off on this. So these are really only $28. So the Nonagon designer pack is $28. Again, it's only being told to you verbally, so that when this is on the replay, people see that it really is $30. So,
but on the replay, you can get it up till midnight tomorrow night.
Midnight tomorrow night, if you send us an email.
And then those won't be mailed out tomorrow, right?
No, we're as many people. I'm going to do the invoices after this show, and as many people that pay by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, your stuff will ship out tomorrow. If you pay after 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, because we're going out of town, some things may not ship till Monday. But I've already made plenty of those packets. So.
Right, but I guess my point was, if you order up to 9, for anyone listening, if you order at 9, or if you order at midnight Friday or 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that won't go. Those won't go out till Monday. Absolutely correct. So I thought that designer pack would be the coolest idea. And again, these are, how long are these again? Let's see. These are 8, 12. So these are 24-inch long strands. And again, they are about 88 to 90 beads. But if you do want the whole strand, I promised there'd be whole strand deals. So the whole strand is normally 18, but again, for you tonight, it is just $16. So your cart will only be charged $16 tonight if you get a whole strand. So if you really want to get a bunch. So 16 is silver, 17 is copper, 18 is brass, 19 is black, and 20 is gold. So you can, if you do think you want to give it enough of a try to get a full strand, we've got those full strands. And again, the full strands are 16. So again, just to recap, all the triple kits that were normally 28 or 25, all the Nonagon pairs, 2 bracelet kits that are normally 24 or 21. The single Nonagon, which is 14, is now 11. The designer pack, which is 30, is now 28. And then all these individual strands are, all these individual strands are 16 instead of 18. And again, if you're getting a discount, you're getting the discount on top of that. And if you've got more than 50, as a lot of you big spenders do, you'll get free shipping as well. So hopefully this was informative, gave you some ideas to do, of new fun things to do with this unique bead. It does throw a lot of light, especially the silver and the gold. It can really be one of your new fun things in multi-stranded bracelets. And again, we have them for sale on our website. And again, these will the web cards for all of these will be turned on shortly, and I'll have to remember to put gold, if I haven't put gold already, to put gold on the Nonagon card. So and we got you out of here before 7. And if you want to pop over, Becky, and Becky, do you still want to do your show in 2 weeks, or do you want?
Yep, that's the plan.
All right. So Becky had kind of hinted that she's going to do this really cool woven leather and chain bracelet in a couple different colorways with a couple different chains.
I want to clarify with Deb, though, if she is looking for 2 lot 19s or just 1 lot 19. We'll look for that down
Yeah,
the way.
lot 19 is the blacks. Black strands matter, so yeah, we want to make sure we get that right? And then she's doing a lot of fun stuff with this Afghani turquoise. People were ordering this this turquoise right off of the show last time, just from us showing this. So anyway, so she's going to be working with doing several fun things, creating handmade rosary chain with this Afghani turquoise and doing this bracelet. That's going to be noon on May 17th, with Becky. And then we're back here in 4 weeks on May 30th. I'm going to do a D-Stash component show. Again, it'll be a wheelin' and dealin' show. And that's going to be from 6 to 7, 4 weeks from today, May 30th. So thank you all for joining us. And we'll have the video posted in about 5 minutes or so if you want to watch the replay. Again, we stop usually watching the feed after about 10 or 15 minutes. So if it gets to be more than 10 or 15 minutes from now, the best way to assure that your order is going to be seen is to send us an email to becky@diakonosdesigns.com. Again, if this was your first time shopping, we do like you to send us a email at becky@diakonosdesigns.com. That's how we capture your email to send you your invoice. You can also put it in the messenger, Facebook Messenger to us, but do not put it in the feed. Do not put it in the feed. So, was there a lot 12? Yeah, lot 12. There's only one left of. Lot 12 was the original black Picasso. Where's the card for that? Was the original Nonagon pair black Picasso. There is just one lot of that left. That must have been when you went to the fridge to get a beer, right? No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, that's there. If you do want that, Vicky, it's still available. And other than that, thanks again, everyone. God bless you. We'll see you again in a couple weeks. Thank you so much.
Yep, thanks, everybody.
Yep. Good night.
See you next time.